you're stumbling around, you know. And I found out, I was at home one day at my house, and I'm maybe about 3-4 miles away from Bahama Rock, the blasting. And I was at home, blast went off, and a picture fell off my wall. That's how much it shook my house. Bahama Rock is this way. I live about a half mile further this way. It affected me. And my house, my building, is cracked. Now, Bahama Rock, originally, they were blasting at a .7 with a large size 7-inch pipe that was drilling in the ground, going down over 100 feet. Since then, since we made a little noise, they've changed that. Now they're going down not quite as deep, but they're still blasting, and their charges are now to a .2. We don't hear it, but sometimes we still feel the shake when it goes off. What it is actually, sir, we are frightened because we don't know what the future holds if they were to come across the street. We don't know what will happen. We've asked the experts that were here, we asked them, at the end of the day, are we going to have salt water or fresh water when you finish dredging if you come across the street? The gentleman said, with no doubt, we will have salt or brackish water. Now, we, in this end of the island, we get water from Freeport through the pipes. When we had the last hurricane, we got no water from Freeport. What we used were hand pumps. If we have to drink salt or brackish water from our own land here, we just go drink the ocean. Now, we don't want to pass this on. I don't want to be responsible to my great-grandchildren and my grandchildren and say, I'm sorry, but we agreed to let them come here. Now you have to drink salt water instead of fresh water. We're their people. We're responsible for them. So they're putting a bridge in across the highway, as you see in the drawing. And the bridge is 20 feet high from high tide, 20 feet high. And they're trying to dredge out here when they come across here, some 70 feet deep. If the bridge is a fixed bridge, it's only 7 feet high. A boat that comes under there can draw no more than 15 feet of water. Why are they going down 70 feet? It's going to affect our water table.
Profit.
We're frightened what the future holds for us. We don't know. This is a bone fishing lodge out here. We get bone fishing in the creek out here. When they start blasting and the mud and things go in the fish gill, they're going to move out. We can't bring tourists here to bone fish anymore on the north side. So we're frightened. We don't want it. If we can help it, we don't want it, please. That's the bottom line, sir.
I understood that from the first minute in the speech. Can I go back, please? I just want to make sure we are, to this extent, on the same page. This picture here shows the harbor approximately as it is. This area here is where they're extending the additional berth for the turn-in basin. The turn-in basin is 50% done, so this picture is a little old. This picture here is the area that I just described. This area 4 is the one we're talking about.
Of course.
We're not contemplating any crossing of the highway. With respect to area 3, if I'm hearing you right,
Yes, sir.
the blasting, the monitoring, the constant evaluation is what you want to ensure that is taking place so that you can measure the extent of the damage that is done to the fish, the water, or the homes. That is what we're committing to. Beyond here, we're not doing anything until we talk again. And the Grand Bahama Port Authority is not doing anything until we talk again. That much I can assure you. We are also in the process of addressing legislation to deal with this, so that wherever it occurs, you would have access to the courts to deal with the effect on your homes, your businesses, or your property going forward. be involved in crafting that legislation, because 8 Mile Rock, in many respects, has reached where Miami reached. And what Miami did is it prohibited additional mining.
Okay.
I'd like to make, since he brought this thing up about the fish, I've been at the Grandmama Shipyard for about 4.5 years, and I monitor probably 3 or 4 times a day the quality of the water flowing in and around the docks. And as I said, you know, at least a bit of debris or oil that goes into the water, we clean it up immediately. So the water there is more perfect and clean than Nassau Harbor or the what do you call it? The Aulukai, not Aulukai, yeah, down there. But there's something that I've noticed, and maybe, Minister, you could answer this. Why is it that fish do not like limestone sediment? Every time Bahama Rock begins to drill near us, I can bet the fish leave. We normally have barracudas, grunts, snappers, jacks floating around the docks all the time. This beautiful crystal clear water. The moment a little bit of that sediment comes across, they disappear. Now that's something that we have to keep in mind. Fish do not tolerate limestone sediment, the flow of it in the water. So that's something that's very important when it comes to bone fishing in that particular area. I mean, I don't know, maybe just scientifically, I don't know why fish don't like it, but
It kills them.
they disappear. They absolutely, literally disappear. And as soon as the mining stops and the water becomes clear again, the fish come right back, floating in and around the docks.
Good evening. Minister, I don't know if you have an answer for this, but it's something, a question that was posed to me and I didn't have an answer for. When Bahama Rock was originally given permission to blast, was there any accountability to homeowners or business persons that homes that if they can prove that their homes have been damaged, that they can, there's a process that they may be able to go through to get compensated for severe damages? Because I was asked personally out of homeowners in the Queens Cove community who has been devastated over and over, even in 1999 by hurricanes. There are persons through there that have no option to move because the home is their largest investment, and they have severe damages, as do in 8 Mile Rock. But since they asked me personally, I thought, are you aware maybe if there was something that, are they accountable to any degree?
The short answer to that is yes, of course they're accountable. Having said that, well, you all live in Grand Bahama, you have Freeport Power, but in Nassau, BEC is also accountable when an electrical surge goes through your house. But I say that to make a point. It is extraordinarily difficult to get BEC to admit they're wrong. And so you have to do some things. Are you prepared? Are you prepared to force Bahama Rock?
The person who specifically asked me hired an attorney and got persons to do an assessment, and they have the stuff, but not, it's like, they've been turned away and turned around and round and round. And I told them that I would ask to see if they, if anything they can do.
The best advice.
They do have an attorney.
The best advice I have for that person is to continue to pursue. They have documented evidence that the blasting did the damage. They know who was responsible for the blasting. It might take a while, but I'm certain that the court will vindicate their claim. Sir.
Yes. I was hoping this question could be answered by Minister Grant, but he has left, so maybe you can answer. I know that dynamites and other explosive devices are a controlled substance here in the Bahamas as well as in the U.S. and most countries from which it is imported. Bahama Rock has continuously made claims concerning blasting at a particular level. They have also, supposedly by their particular experts, measured these blasts at particular levels. There's by no means any way for us to verify that when they say they use 2 pounds of dynamite for a particular blast, that is what they use, or that the measurements that they have, which can be one of many different levels, that whatever particular level they present to us can be the level that is most satisfactory for us to be pacified. Is there any way that in conjunction with Minister Grant, who's in charge of explosive